it seems that the story, what history is telling us, is that in the last sort of 20,000 years or so, 15,000 years of history, there has been a very sort of positive sort of undertow, a sort of Barkian ground base of human settlements. That is to say, people living in rural villages, carrying on, inventing religions, inventing dairy systems, inventing agriculture. And from time to time, something absolutely dramatic happens, and up pops a big civic society and produces cathedrals and pyramids and absolutely astonishing things, and invents emperors and judges and writes books and plays. And then it has this glorious sort of 4 or 5 centuries, sometimes substantially longer, of civic life. And then, like a flower, it dies, and the life goes back to a sort of normal, the ground base of rural villages. I think that's what's happening at the moment, except I think there is one wrinkle which hasn't happened before, and that is that our civic society is not only a civic society that like sort of pop back into sort of oblivion like the previous ones have, but in our case, ours is a global one, so that any damage it causes is not going to be sort of left with traces of deserts in various parts of the world, which we can explore and send archaeologists to explore. But it actually is something which could actually turn the whole world into a desert. That's one problem. Another problem which is related to it is that it's harder actually to put your finger on any part of our society which in fact isn't part of the civic society. So the idea that one could go back to the decentralized rural villages and they were to pick up the pieces and carry on for the next 1,000 years until someone develops a new way of doing it is beginning to look a little bit odd. Maybe what we really ought to be thinking about, above all, is protecting and rescuing and preserving and ensuring the survival of that ground base of rural villages. Are there any really rural villages left? One does wonder. Or are they just outposts of towns, driving urban cars and using urban energy systems and eating urban food and going on urban holidays and earning urban incomes? Well, I leave it to you to judge. I'm looking rather as though we are a globally urban society. What I would like to suggest that what we ought to concentrate on above all is localization in the full sense of the word, rediscovering the rural locality. It seems to me that is the urgent thing for us to do. There are many people determined to protect gene pools of various plants. What we have to do is to protect the gene pool of human society, and that is what is endangered.